Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of Sunday Sessions with Rich podcast. If you are new, welcome. We got some weed, we got some alcohol. Welcome to episode 145, guys. Rambo is back, friend of the show. Big dog, welcome back, man. Cheers. Salute.
Cheers, Rich. Thanks for having me on again.
Of course, brother. For people who are new to the show, let us know who you are and what you got going on, brother.
Rambo from Twitter and Instagram, and kind of conspiracy minded, and also positive thinking minded.
You switched
I'd like
up,
to say, I'd like to say I learned a lot of that from you. Like, inspired me, man. Changed my kind of thought process, and you made me realize that we do create this, and I've seen evidence of it. I've seen it. And I've heard people talk about manifesting, and do you know what? I used to think, nah. And it's undeniable. You create this reality. As in your words, these are your words. We create this reality, and we really do.
We create this shit. Once you get enough,
we do.
It's undeniable. Now, for those who don't know, you have an amazing podcast with a Human Vibration. Shout out to HV, Realize Radio. A lot of people don't know, and I've told you in HV this many times, you were the first podcast I ever listened to, one of my favorite podcasts, and I became a friend of the show. But for those who are new, let us know, like, what's the premise of Realize Radio, and where we can find you.
The premise, we talk about basically anything, and we kind of give a different perspective on it than what usually people think of, and we kind of go off the kind of, could say, simulation and a mix of them. We're not kind of glued to any idea. So do you know what I mean? That is what is the best thing about it. When I'm chatting with HV, we're kind of open to everything. We're not kind of glued. Something I believe today, I might not believe it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you know? And that's how it is. And it's called Realize Radio. And
one of the best out there. Guys, a lot of people don't know.
This is real. Yeah, it's real people giving their real ideas, real thoughts. And we get a lot like, where's your evidence for what you're saying? And the whole point of it is realize all your evidence is inside of you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's your intuition. That is, for me, that's my evidence for everything. Like, you just know already. Like, when you give us laws and stuff like that, we know what's right or wrong anyway. Nobody needs to tell us what's right or wrong. You already know. And it's the same feeling for everything. Do you know, like, I get that uncanny valley feeling about everything. You know, I feel like I trust myself, and over the last few years, I feel like that is what has been a benefit out of everything. If I could pick, is like that I've learned to trust my own intuition. You know, instead of going with what someone else might say, the crowd. I feel like I can't be swayed anymore. I just go by. All the evidence is inside me.
The one thing, so for somebody, it's like, how do you know? Like, it's I get it. How can you improve manifestation? How do you know you create your own reality? Well, I've seen enough evidence to know that.
I've seen it myself so many times. And do you know what? You're the person who made me actually see that as a thing. Do you know? I would have, at one point when I was going through my journey, I might have, like, at one point I was kind of closed off to my ideas, and as time's gone on, I'm open to all. And then as that I took that in, I started to see it happening. Joe, and your words, you create your own reality. It's you who says those words, and you do. And things are happening in my life that I know I've made myself just through belief and thoughts.
Because even to touch upon that, Rambo, even like when we had our friendship grew over time, but even like when we first started talking, you was never against it. You was hesitant.
Never, yeah.
I felt like internally you had some resonance in it because you was accepting. Like, we all have, that's podcasting, and it's just life. You're gonna have people who agree and disagree. And it's just a matter of like understanding from each other's perspective. But you was never like, it was like there's some curiosity, like it could be some truth to this.
That, I feel like the manifesting thing is what is hidden from us more than anything. That we are in control of this, of our own, not of anybody else's.
Our individual,
our own individual lives. We're in the driving seat
Bro, it get deeper too. We are also in a way responsible for other people's too.
Mm.
I just talked about this on the pod. Like for example, and this is something I had to deal with. So like my younger brother, typical younger brother rebelling, not listening kind of situation. And the narrative that we talk in our head, oh, he's irresponsible. This for example, oh, he's irresponsible, he's this, he's that, I wish, but blah. We're not helping them by talking in that
Negative.
that
Yeah.
negative. So I'm only amplifying his reality to continue staying that way versus he's really done well. I've noticed blah 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 blah, changing that narrative.
Big changes in him, yeah. And
Change.
he saying that and hearing that, he will then make the big changes. The big changes will happen.
Facts.
It's true. I feel like one only will find out that manifesting is real when it happens for themselves. Because for me, it's happened many times. Do you know what I mean? More occasions than I could even think of for me to now. I can't deny it. And when I came onto Twitter and social media, my thing was to say I believed everything was a lie. And what was shown is a lie. The truth is inside. Everything is inside you. And you create the truth inside you. You put it out in front of you, what you want. And it happens. It doesn't happen overnight. It can happen overnight. I've had things what I have tested and it's happened overnight. Small things.
Oh,
But
you
then I've
knew.
had
Oh,
longer term things that I've had in my mind that have gradually came and I can think back. I remember when I thought that this could happen and it's happened, even down something small to Realize Radio, the podcast. Like, I never thought we'd do a podcast when I started posting on Twitter. But then after a while, I started to think I might do. And then I started to think I will do. But I haven't even been on a podcast. And then there it is. It's something so small like that. And it just happened, That's just one. That's just one example. I couldn't even list how many times.
so HV told me about the recent one with the other version of yourself, aka your neighbor, assisting you when you surrendered with the car situation.
Mm. Yeah, I was having
Prime.
a really bad day, and I could just feel, and do you know what I do? I talked about this on that episode. I remind myself, when it's happening, I always think of the future and how I'm going to feel when it's done and it's over and it means nothing.
Huge.
I put myself in that situation before it's happened. I always try and feel the calm of when it's all over before it's all over.
Yeah. Aligning
And
yourself.
that I feel is a way of manifesting, because when it gets to that point, when I do realize, oh wow, all that stress I might have been feeling before, I always knew it was going to come to this, and it has. Now it was nothing. Do you know what I mean? And I was able to go about my day. Everything just went well from that minute. Everything turned around.
Let's break it down. So in the UK, there was a little heat crisis. Rambo's part of his car was burnt. He
Yeah, burnt. Window broke down, like stuck down because it wouldn't.
Real life stressful. Like I need to get this sorted situation.
Blocked on Twitter. I got my Twitter account disabled.
So it was a lot going on. It was a lot
Yeah,
going on.
all in 1 minute. And then we had the podcast 5 minutes before, like it was 5 minutes, and it all just my Twitter account got. There's a few things, but it just all got up. Everything just happened. My window went up. My account was unlocked. I found my phone charger. I found my phone. Everything just within 5 minutes, and it was like I knew that the anxiety. You do feel. Everyone feels a bit of anxiety, of overthinking. Of, oh my god, I've got to do this, got to do that.
Yeah.
But if you think whilst that's going on, I always try and picture the end result of it's not that serious. Do you know what I mean? It's not that serious. But when you get to the end, when it's over, and I always remind myself when I feel the feeling like it's done and I'm sorted, I'm going to remind myself of how I'm feeling right now, that I'm anxious and I'm stressed. I'm going to remind myself when it's over of this minute right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that in a way is manifesting the calmness of it all, that it wasn't that serious. And I feel like it's a bigger a more fulfilling calmness when I knew I was right all along. You know, when I get to that point and I was like, it's all sorted. I told myself it would all be sorted, you know, and it wouldn't be that serious in the end.
So you had every right. Any other situation, you had every right to be like, worst day ever, blah 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 blah. But you let
Yeah,
yourself feel, of course, feel the stress because I mean, obviously. But then you like, you know what, Rambo, I know this is all going to work out. But I want to go
yeah.
even deeper, bro, because HV told me.
Yeah. Go on, deep, go.
So you went to a couple places try to get it sorted. It just wasn't
All
working.
closed. Four
All
different
closed.
garages in my town, all saying 2 weeks for two butts. It basically it's a fiddly job.
Mhm.
That's it, and it's fine now. I don't know what was wrong. Yeah, I mean, little rubber bits a little bit melted, but
But then
fine.
wait. Then you, of course, and I'm gonna be like, fuck, how the hell does this go work out? But you continue to surrender. You come back home. Your neighbor, out of all people,
I
assisted, which was
dismissed him.
come on.
Dismissed it. It sounded too stupid of an idea, and I was like, nah. And I just left into it. Give me the keys. You do what you're doing. Literally 2 minutes later, it's like done. It's fixed. Your window's up.
So
But it
rewind.
can work in both ways, can't it? Like, so if I didn't change my mindset of thinking of how it was going to be okay in the end, if I would have continued to think, oh, that's going wrong, that's going wrong, that's going wrong, do you believe that the rest of my day would have just gone wrong?
It would have gone wrong because that was your vibration.
Yeah,
It was your vibration.
exactly.
The neighbor hopped up like you couldn't have scripted that, and that was
It
just like
was weird.
typical
Yeah.
cartoon. Like, howdy neighbor, you need some assistance? Where'd you come from? I just create you?
About nowhere, there he was to do this like little thing that he'd found, but it had already happened to him where he couldn't get his up, and this happened. But
Coincidence.
then it's been fine ever since, which is weird.
He
Like,
just so happened
why?
to go
Like,
through the same experience. He just it's just a coincidence.
but do you know what? I also thought I could have gone to a garage that day, and he could have just charged me 500 quid or whatever, and done the same thing he did, and
Yeah,
gone, yeah, 500 quid. You know, everything just worked out, and I believe it was because I pictured myself in the future feeling that it was all going to be okay.
bro. Let's talk
And
about something I've been playing around with is and something you just talked about too is you tapping in with your future self. So the Rambo who was in a reality that the car is already sorted, you cool, you tapped into him. Something I've
yeah,
been playing around with that.
that version of me already existed, but I also feel the version of me existed where the window just didn't fix,
Multiple
and everything
realities.
else went, and I got banned from Twitter for life and everything. Like, I feel like
Multiple
that
realities.
version of me existed, but I had already put my hand out
Yep.
to the version where everything's going to be okay. Whilst it was having that mindset to when everything was going wrong, to think of what it could be right, what I'm going to feel like. It was more of what I'm going to feel like when it all
Ooh,
goes right.
yes. How does that feel? Ooh,
It
Rambo.
felt good. And it's not the only time, you know what I mean? This has happened to me so many times, but this was just the other day, what we're talking about, isn't it? So this is a good example of it. But yeah, I feel like if I didn't picture myself feeling everything's going to be okay, it could have gone the other way. But
Really
I
happy.
felt it. I felt
Yeah.
the future, mate. I felt it like that. It's the, and I always tell myself, do you know what I do? I tell myself to remind myself of how, like, maybe manic I felt at the time or whatever, when it's all calm. So when I can't, I think, see, that's how you was, and look at you now. You
Guys,
was right.
that's what we saying about tapping in with your future self. Ask your that self. It could be the one that already got the job that you're waiting for, whatever the case may be. Just like, how do you feel right now? How are we feeling? How are we moving around? And tap into
And
that.
that's it. And I wouldn't have thought like this, right? I just want to say, honest truth now, without Rich Sunday sessions, I wouldn't.
Just a
Without
mirror.
you, Rich,
Just a mirror, man. God is the
made me
perfect.
made me see that it's not everything is fake. You're not fake. What your feelings, what's inside you, is not fake.
That shit is
You get
fucking.
me? And
Rambo.
that is what is hidden from us. Our powers of being able to create this reality is the
Not no
main
more.
reason
Not no
for
more.
all the lies. I feel like that is for all the lies is for what we can create. It's to hide it, to distract us from what we can already do. Do you know what I mean?
One thing too, I was telling HV on Realize Radio, make sure you support and listen. It's the concept of okay, so guys, you've noticed, and I talked about this in past episodes. I haven't really like I I don't talk as much about conspiracy theories only because I it's it's similar to the news pumping out programming to
Yeah. So there is, I feel like there is at the minute, like, so when you see conspiracies of like Pizzagate and stuff, it just
yeah,
comes back around, back around, back around. It's
continuing that
propaganda.
it is. Now we're like, yes, okay, this is happening in that in the reality. We acknowledge that, but however, I'm not doing anyone a disservice. Continue talking about it because one, I'm aligning myself with that reality, and then I'm helping you to align
Yeah.
yourself with reality, which makes it continue
Well,
being experienced.
is that why you think they want us to, why they keep bringing it back round? Because they want that
It's
to
the
be in, they're trying to create our reality. They're trying to make that part, those like that negative vibe, negative energy, whatever it is. They're trying to make that part of our reality. And that's why it keeps coming back round. It never gets old, you know. Certain things are never forgotten. It just keeps coming back and coming back. And when you think it's over, it comes back again, like Epstein. And they want that stuff in our path that we're creating for ourselves. They're trying to like put, I feel like whatever it is, when I say they, whatever, I don't know. I don't know. But
really
something out there is trying to put something in our path to block us from ourselves. That's what I feel ultimately. And
it's a cosmic game, Rambo. The bad guys are us in disguise. And we're
yeah,
playing a game with ourselves of amnesia. So we're playing a game to keep us asleep, and the at the same time, the way to beat the game is to wake up. It's a clever, fucked up, cosmic, beautiful dance that we're playing right now.
it's clever. And I've heard the theory of, have you heard that theory of they, like you've just said it pretty much, they are us. Like when I say they or they're them, that is us.
The devil
And
is just you in
we're
disguise.
kind of like got algorithmic minds, like we're sharing information that the other person may be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And it can work in a positive way, like your phone. Like sometimes you can, have you ever thought of something, not
Oh, I
said it out
experienced
loud,
this. I
thought
experienced
of something
this.
and your phone pops it up and you're like, hey, that
I
was
experienced
fun.
this yesterday.
What?
Yesterday. I was like, what the fuck? How advanced are our phones, or how advanced are our minds?
Oh, yeah. So going even deeper than of your phone bringing up something you thought about, have you ever thought about something and a stranger or somebody in the street comes and then speak to you about something you're just thinking about that they could not possibly have known? Where it does the algorithm reach further than the
Hey,
phones? Is it coming to us? And I've had a few experiences with the TV, right? You might think I'm crazy rich, but I've said a word and then the TV has said it where I've stopped my conversation and, hey, why would the TV say that? And then it happened again. And I said weed, right? I said weed. And it said cannabis on the tail end. I was like, wow. It was a second time. And I feel like maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe it's just how I think.
no,
But
because like you
I
like
think even the TV is doing shit like the algorithm, like your phone, like the adverts on your phone. I feel like people in your real life are doing it, but I also feel like the TV's been doing it. I proved it to myself
real
too
life.
many times. Like once I posted about, was it like toucans or something? Yeah. And then it was like the life of a toucan was on the TV. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm not even, why would that be on the TV?
This is real life, like make because you
I feel
manipulating.
like that's how we're all connected. I feel like we're all connected, and us giving like these devices and stuff is distracting just how much we control our own lives. Like we have a lot of control over it, but we don't realize it because we've been like spelled cast. The spell has been cast on us, you know, like to
Us doing the spell casting.
It has. Something's happened where we don't believe in ourselves. Like we all look, most people look for guidance.
Yeah.
And the guidance is that gut feeling I was talking about at the beginning, that intuition, that's your guidance of your whole life, I feel. And once you start following it, I feel like I've seen big changes in my life where your head's telling you one thing, but I just go with that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Bro, have you? So they've been talking about the now they're talking about the alien disclosure, which I find this hilarious. Um, so one thing I do now, and I've been like, it's one thing I've been noticing about like I guess like the world is everybody is like awakening and people peeping bullshit. When I say bullshit, it's like people knowing like, hey, we already know aliens have been existing with us. We know you about to do some fake alien invasion shit to inferior steer. I mean steer. Whoa, it's the Hennessy. In whatever that damn word is, and still fear uh
Yeah,
on
yeah,
us. And I'm
making
like,
us all
y'all think we
aliens.
stupid, bro. Like I'm excited to see how this because I feel like it's gonna be like our real alien selves, like, hey, this is some fake ass shit. And then everybody gets introduced, and I'm like, damn, we really like coexisting with like
Yeah, but I feel like they're going to try and make it now. Like, if you don't believe in aliens, if you think the aliens are some sort of holographic blue beam, whatever, then you're a conspiracy theorist. Aliens are real, or you're a conspiracy theorist. That's how it's turning at the minute. You know, like people are talking about aliens who thought aliens were fake, and then now I'm starting to think aliens are fake. People are talking about aliens as real, so now I'm a conspiracy theorist for not believing in aliens now. But when I used to believe in aliens, I was a conspiracy theorist as well. You know,
a stupid
they
game.
got us, man. Like they got us. But do you think they're real? Do you think
100%, 100%.
I think there's something else. How could it be? Because I think this is all about how they make us feel lonely, right? And that we're alone, that we're in this infinite universe, and there's nothing else out there, nothing at all. It's just us. Like, and you're a soul. You're just a soul. Do you know, like you're on your own, do you know, basically. That's what they're saying. I don't believe that. I feel like we're one. We are one energy on this planet. Like, and I feel like there is other things. There is other things. I don't know if we're a globe or whatever we are. I don't know. Nobody knows. But whatever it is, I believe we're some sort of computer game, some sort of dimension. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's something going on right next to us now within another dimension. That's where I'm at with
It's just because
what's going on.
mermaids are real giants, like all these things that they
There's a
tell us.
lot of truth. I feel like they put the truth out there, and what they tell us exists, and like dinosaurs, for instance. Like I feel like maybe they do exist, but in another dimension, maybe they're telling us stories from all these dimensions and giving us the one. I picture it as like Westworld style. Like, have you ever seen Westworld?
Yeah.
Where
Oh
like
wait.
outside, something's outside of it, controlling it. And there's also things coming in, like entity, we could call them an entity, taking place of like a president or whatever to experience this world. Sometimes I feel that's what's going on, and they come in and they come in with ideas. They might be planning outside of it. Like, I'll go in and I've got a good idea. He's been promoted. He's going to go in as Biden, and he's going to
Yeah.
say this and change the world. Let's see what we can do with him. Like you're playing The Sims, and you're just trying to
This is all.
see what you can do.
One thing I just thought about when we talking about dinosaurs, like because my homie, my homie Travis, he gets mad at me when I talk about the firmament. I always fuck it up when firmament. Yeah, that the
Permanent.
dome.
I struggle with that word.
This fucking long ass word. The fucking
Permanent.
dome. And he believes in space. And I said, you know what? No, he really get pissed. And I love reading it up. Because those who believe in space, that reality exists, and myself who don't believe, it's a
Yeah,
fuck.
it's
My
their reality. That's what I say. Every one of us see this different.
But okay. I've been sipping, so it's gonna go on a little rant. Make this make sense. We haven't been to space since the quote unquote last time we went. How does that make sense? We got all this money in advanced technology. How haven't we went back? And just common
They
sense.
say our iPhone has more technology than the spaceship that went to the moon.
Sense.
When you look at it, a load of tinfoil and sticks. Obviously, the iPhone has more technology, but do you know what? There's people like that would say you're a conspiracy theorist, but like there's people that aren't into any of this that still think the moon landing didn't happen. You know, like they'll say everything else is real, but the moon landing is fake. You know, like the phone call didn't Nixon made a phone call to the actual moon on a landline, and they kind of mock us, saying like the longest, the furthest landline call in ever was Nixon to.
We haven't been back since. So how's our technology back then better than the technology we got now?
It's
And then if you
that's it.
and then I was watching this video and it was about because we always talk about the pyramids and like the little areas underneath the ground with like all these like very intricate design buildings and shit. Not like buildings like
Yeah.
city buildings, but like old ancient shit. And it's the precision is also like they didn't have the technology. Like even I saw this crane and they're trying to do this boulder and it tilted the crane. If that's doing it with the technology we have now, how the hell did
Did they
quote
do
unquote,
it then?
so you had help from our intergalactic friends that were probably residing with you all.
What about this, Rich? What if, when they say great reset, right? What if there was another civilization before us given a whole bunch of different technologies
They
to
have
build
old
that, and then
maps.
they had
They
the
have old
great reset? We're like another version. We're like 2.0,
yeah.
another version with different technologies, but still on the same Westworld map. You know, like what we're still in what previous civilizations have left behind, where before they got reset like a button, like a computer, and 2.0, 3.0 coming along, and that's us. Like sometimes I think that like the map already existed before us and it was
Yes.
already here.
Yes.
It's deep. It's deep.
Bro, I agree with that 1000%. It was so that they have these old ass maps of like in the 1500s, and it shows like, for example, Antarctica, and it's Antarctica there. Now we can't get all the countries signed a treaty for Antarctica, and basically you can't go past a certain way. But what's beyond that? Now it's the shit you don't want us to see.
Yeah,
It was a guy, I can't remember his name. He
I
explored.
believe that. So Admiral Byrd on
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
like
that's the
so.
guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but they explored it. Yeah, but my thing is right. We can. I don't know whether I said this. We can only buy an aeroplane ticket to where we're sold ones. You know what I mean? We can't go anywhere in the world. We can just go on a flight path to somewhere else. We can't get in our own plane and fly because they have like is it the FAA
Can
or
I ask you a
they have
question?
that? You can't go on your boat because the coast guards will get you, so you
All
can't
right.
go anywhere.
What are you guarding? Let me ask you a question, bro.
Yeah, man.
Of course, I've been to England many times. It gets to a point in my journey where I feel like I should have been off this plane by now.
Is it bigger than what they say it is?
I think yes, and you taking us a certain way to avoid areas that you don't really want us to know as a public. Because like certain things shouldn't take that fucking long. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
feel. I'm always traveling. I'm like, damn, I feel like I should be
like
off.
the roads, for instance. Like the roads, you're just in traffic all the time. Yeah,
So
but
you
then
go
at the side of each road,
instead of going straight to get to your destination, it's all these, especially out there, you got the hills and it's a bunch of
we
stopping and go.
call it the ring road. Like it's
Making it
like driving
longer, it's
around in
adding more
circles, man.
time.
Like,
I'm like it makes so much because it makes so like the GPS is mocking us.
but yeah, but when you look either side of the motorway, yeah, there's just fields for never ending. So why can't there just be more roads so you're not just sat in that traffic for hours and hours? Because I think it all goes to like making you think there's more people in the world than there is, and
Yeah.
everything, like it takes your life away. You're not able to have time for yourself when you're sat in traffic. But do you know what I've learned to do?
I heard about
That
that.
is when I take the time for myself. Instead of getting angry that I'm in the traffic, that's when I daydream now. That's when I zone out and you could say meditate whilst I'm sat in traffic. I use that as
Come
a
on, nah,
positive.
come on, Rambo.
I do. I use it as a positive thing that I'm sat in traffic instead of getting mad. It's like I've turned my whole mindset that hey, it says here some time for myself. There's no rush. I'm not. What's the rush? That's my thing. There's not what. Where am I going? Do you know what I mean? There's no rush.
Oh yeah, because
Chilling.
it's a perfect medicine. I get.
Always chilling. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the mindset. I think that's a good mindset because when you start trying to think where you should be and what you should be doing, you're there where you are for a reason. You're there. You might be avoiding an accident. You might be. Do you know what I mean? You're there for a reason. You could have just like Final Destination shit. You could have just avoided something because it's not your time. Do you know what I mean?
Here now.
Like when you're in a queue, sometimes have you ever been in a queue, Richard? Got to the queue and it's just like massive, and you get in it and you're at the
Yeah,
back, and then nobody else joins it. You're like, you get to the front and nobody else is even in the queue now, and it's like I sometimes see that as like somebody's trying to, maybe just avoiding an accident right there. Like everything's set.
I need to practice
All
that.
the versions of myself, like we talked about before, all our versions of ourselves exist, and one of them is we're following that one. You never know. It's a positive outlook though. Again, like I see that you're just looking at everything as positive. You massive queue. So what? You're the only one in the queue because I always do know there's nobody behind me after I've queued in a queue of 20 people. I'm the only person at the front, like, and it's like look behind and like, wow, nobody else even wanted this after me.
Man, this is tripping me out. That's why I love these conversations, man. Because it's
Well,
all
you could have saved your life right there. That is like your life being saved. That's how I always look at it. Like I could have just been in a car accident, but I
yeah.
wasn't because this queue has made me get home safe.
You would say, "Oh, damn." See, that's what like I'm saying. Anything that happens, just don't react to it. Just observe it. And
Honestly, my whole mindset over the last 3 years, my whole mindset has changed, and that is how I'll just look at life. It's like everything is like, yeah, that's because I was supposed to miss this,
play
or
the game, man. You
as I
play
was meant to do this. Like sometimes you might be late and then come across an old friend or whatever, and then you
That's
get the
why I use oh man, it's just divine timing all the time. Divine
Have you
time.
ever had it, Rich, where you have a dream, yeah? You have a dream, yeah, and it might be somebody like you've not seen for years and years, and you've got no reason to see them again. They come into your dream or whatever, and then the next day you go out and you see them.
Yeah.
I've had that so many times.
One
Where I'm
is,
like,
man.
wow.
Bro, I had a so in college, I had a roommate that it just wasn't a great fit. And I had a vision dream, whatever you want to call it, of exactly like the person walking in, like this whole bit fiasco, and it happened. And I'm like, God damn, these dreams really be I guess I don't even call it dreams. I guess it's like what
Again, it's like a manifestation. Are you manifesting that person to just appear tomorrow? And then you might come up and say, oh, I've got this job that I need someone, and
or
then
you
you have them skills. Do you know, like that's how it could work to that kind of script.
future
That
future self is helping you in that moment. Replaying back oh
it's
fuck.
happened to me. That's why I use those kind of examples. That has happened
Yeah.
to me where a face has appeared in my dream that I've not seen since primary school, and then I see them and I go, oh, do you remember? And we speak, and then that's how it is. As something comes of it, you know, all the time that happens to me. And I'm like, wow, how does that? Did I just make that happen?
Yes, you did. Guys, cheers. If you're smoking or sipping, this is for you.
Sipping and smoking. Woo.
Of the ship. Rambo, bro. So, guys, like, okay, it's easy to give information. Like if you, for example, if you're just reading something you regurgitating, it's not really much conviction. But like that's why I like such like episodes like this, where like we're literally giving you shit that happened in our perspective, how we approached it, how we manifested it, how we created a different reality. But you need those tangible things. I can be like, yeah, X, Y, and Z. Was like, no, this is what happened. I surrendered during the shit, and then poof.
Yeah. We're speaking from experience, like real experience. Like it's not written. This can't be read from anywhere. Do you know? It's real experience, and it's one of those things like you can only experience it and know it's real when it actually happens to you. You can hear about it, you can try to do it and all that, but it just
it has to be that
happens. Yeah,
belief,
it just
knowing
it just
that
happens.
belief.
Like you can try like meditation, like and all this stuff. Like you can do it. Doesn't. It just happens when it's something you get to see it, and it blows my mind, and it blows my mind
Because like
every
you
time it
like
happens to me.
it's a knowing. You know you create your reality. You don't say it's not some shit you just regurgitate to sound good. It's like I know as Rambo, I create this shit. You
No,
cannot convince me any differently. I have
yeah, that I know you feel it inside, and it blows your mind, and you could maybe the first few times kind of brush it off as a coincidence. You could
yeah.
say, yeah, no, I thought that, but yeah, or I believe that. But then after more times and more times, it becomes then you kind of feel like you do have you're creating it as you go.
There might be something here that we didn't know about.
It is, and I feel like it's great once you do feel it. You know, once you feel like you do pull those little things off, those little thoughts, what you might think of, and you believe. Like even going back before, I was like feeling like I couldn't wait till it was done and felt better again. Like that. That is it. I felt that is it. I made that happen. I reached out to that version of me that was already there at the end, and it's there. I do believe, Rich, we've lived every single life. It's already there. We've already done it. Every version of us already exists, past and present, and you can reach out. You're going out to a certain path each day, aren't you? You're making a decision each day. You
Everything's a choice.
believing inside yourself to that version of yourself that's already lived this life. You could, some people call it the multiverse or whatever you want to call it.
Why do you think they're talking about this in the movies and shit? They're literally telling you what's the deal?
Yeah, well, I'm a big believer in truth in movies that they put everything out there in the movies, and that is so you brush it off as just a movie.
It's the
That is the reason I feel like it's all on the movies because for whatever reason they put it out there and they have to put it out there because it's there. It's there. And it's one of those things you feel when you see it happening and the predictive programming. I feel that's a real thing.
oh,
And yeah, they put it out there for whatever reason that is, don't they? You know, and I think that again is so we create their reality. So we make that real. We make. So we're calling it predictive programming, but it's not. It only happened because the majority believed it and made it real for all of us. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like the majority always win. So if the majority believes, unless, I will say the majority always win, as in like, let's say restrictions and stuff. If the majority believe it, it
we got
happens
ourselves
for
out.
all of us.
No, we not going with this. If it would have went the opposite, where it was like, oh, we're gonna believe in it, then we would have experienced that reality.
Yeah, yeah, but as even when whatever it is within yourself, like when everything's going on, all that crap a few years ago, I never once believed it was real.
Hell
And
no.
I just lived my life as normal the whole way
We
through. I
did.
went shopping, I didn't see any food droughts. I
Hey,
didn't
check out
anything
our
really.
old episodes, guys, because we was recording during the pandemic. Me and Rambo was just like, Rich, I'm
Saying
not
it as it was,
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Like, we're not, no, everything's fine.
everything's fine. And look at us now. Look at, do you want
Yeah.
to say, look at me now? Have you ever seen that Leon Edwards in the UFC? Like, look at me now. Look at us now. Do
Look,
you know, like, that's what it's
like,
true.
come
Look at us
on,
now. We're
because
just, we're just,
we had some, because we had some crazy. Cause, oh, they was nasty. I had friends who attacked me for not taking the vaccine. Hush
every,
now, hush now. Wait, hold
yeah.
on.
Like,
I'm
where is it now? Like, there's people offended. Do you know, like, so, like, even though I live my reality as
he's
it's not
talking about
real, you could still say, like, I'm exempt and stuff like that. I lived my life like that the whole way through, didn't change.
I
And
told
there's
them I
people,
don't have a mask. I just said I didn't do this. Like you can't do shit.
well, you can't, we can't make you do it. And he said all along it was guidelines, and it turned out that it
They
was.
worded it that.
Like, you don't follow the rules, you follow the rules of what all along what we've been talking about yourself. You follow that what you know what's right, you know what's wrong. I call it like, have you ever heard of the uncanny valley where you just know something's not right, and that
Intuitive.
is how I look at everything. I judge it by my own, what I see on the TV or what people are telling me. I make
Yeah.
my own decision on that. I will never take it and run. Do you know what I mean? Never.
Bro, prime example. I'll give you an example. I was in Tesco last year. Wait, damn, was it? Damn, probably wasn't last year.
Tesco, here in America, you say Tesco, man. Like, not many know what it is.
Oh
Usually
yeah. Oh yeah,
Walmart,
yeah,
innit?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
got Tesco,
All
Asda,
right. Tesco is a
like a
UK.
Walmart. Is it like a Walmart, Rich?
No, it's not like a Walmart because Walmart is like you got the food like how Tesco is, but you also got like clothing, electronics, shit like that. Tesco, guys, think of Tesco like a Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Jewels, like those kind of like grocery stores. It's a national known chain.
Yeah, over here it's like a big supermarket,
Yeah, it's a
like
big
big.
supermarket. And shout out to the UK. Oh, fuck. Can't wait to move there. Uh, So it was this lady,
It's
and I was in a self checkout, and she was like, "Hey, where's your mask?" And I said, "I don't have one." And she said, "Somebody got arrested earlier for not having one." If I would have felt and believed, like it probably did happen, but if I would have identified with that version of reality, next time I was in Tesco
get
and I had
arrested.
a mask, I
But
got
what
arrested.
if that was an Agent Smith? What is that?
Right?
Just an Agent Smith telling you get your mask on, and it believes itself that somebody got arrested to
That's
make
the
you then
background shit.
believe that somebody got arrested, but nobody got arrested.
Playing out that programming. So that's what I'm saying. Everything's a choice. When I say that, like you could either go with that fear narrative, or you can be like, you know what? No, I'm fine. Like, and create it how you create it. And that's what I did. And I literally had zero trouble.
Yeah,
Zero trouble.
create it. That's it. You created that. That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? Through all of that, right? I got one refusal from a shop, one, and I didn't want to go in that shop anyway after that, and he was like, show me exemption. So I got the Google Google exemption. I was like, yeah, yeah. And he's like, no, that's not proper. Like, so I was like, in a bit then, like, I don't want to come in there. And that's the only time. Everywhere else you say, oh, I'm exempt. Them security guards didn't want to ask you to put your mask on, really. They're just normal guys that going home to their fam. They don't want to ask you that. That's an added job that they've just been given to keep the jobs.
Go take that shit.
I could feel an emptiness in them while they were saying, can you put your mask on, mate? I was like, I'm exempt. And that's it. That's all you need to say. Because they don't want to do that. They've got to keep the jobs, got to pay the rent. They've got to ask you to put your mask on.
It is following
Following the rules.
like whatever you did, I don't, give to rat's ass.
No judgment from me. Do you know what I mean? If some people were scared, my mum's had about whatever jab she could have had, the maximum jabs, and I don't judge my mum. She's still alive. No problems after her. Nothing at all. So
one thing, damn, what was I going with that thought? God damn it. It was
sorry, Rich, did I
no.
knock your train?
No, because we both we both ran. I forget what point
Do you know what? Because this shit, like, I don't get this stuff. It kind of gets us because it's so obvious. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much to say about it. Of like when we all the way through, we just seen our own reality the whole way through, but we could also see that everybody else was living one.
Yes.
That's what I felt. I felt like I could see my own little tunnel. Like I was in an aquarium, basically, where you walk through the tunnel, and that's everybody else going on. And I was just in that tunnel walking through, and I could see everybody else, but I could also see my destination, the whole way. Do you know what I mean? When you're walking through the underwater aquarium and all the sharks, that's everybody else.
Yeah.
Like at that time, like just going along with everything. And that was my tunnel that I was in all along.
Being the observer. I feel like
Yeah.
I keep coming up with different title names for this episode, and every time we keep talking, I'm like, fucking, I don't even want that to be the title anymore. This shit.
In beers and weed, man.
This will be a Rambo being like a real chill, smoke, sip. We just vibing, man.
Because you know what, I only smoke these mini joints, right? That's why I keep smoking a few, because once a popper just can't stop. But like they're like mini, so there's like really I should just stick two together and have one, but I don't.
No, you gotta split it up sometimes. You know, I love my.
Do you know what though? Over here, we don't get a choice of weed. We just get
Y'all don't. That's gonna piss
what
me.
you get. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm used
it is what it is. Take it or leave it. Do you know that's what it is?
It's
And
a lot of adjustments, but
you know what? Like,
it's a lot of pros being up there.
when you think of weed, like, right, even this weed I'm smoking right now, right, I think like it's got something on it. It's not natural, is it? Really, like people say, oh, it's natural. If it's grown in the grass outside, yeah, then I'd say it was natural. But it's
like out here,
talking from someone who told me what they've done. You put big stuff on, you put other chemicals on it to make it. So things it's not that natural, is it? But either way, I've had actual natural stuff what has been grown in the garden, and it's not as strong. It's not as strong, and if you notice, it gets stronger and stronger. And do you know what? When they legalized it in the USA, in some parts of the USA, my first thought was it's government owned now. Like it's owned. So they've done something to it, and they're using these chemicals. What where even they know people are homegrown in it. Do you know what I mean? Like they know that's happening, and but they're using the same chemicals. What they're using. You know what I mean? Like pretending that we're getting these chemicals and making it. That's how I look at it. But here we are.
Say ignorance is bliss. Like right now, I'm being ignorant to that because I know that's the truth.
I believe that it's fucking good. I don't give a fuck. I like it. It makes me think. It makes me think better. Like, and I don't. Yeah. My thing is like if it's everything in moderation. Everything like even down to what you eat. Everything is in moderation. Everything can be bad for you, but in moderation, it can be good for you.
You know, when you know shit is potent, when the plug or like the local weed man shit don't really smoke the best versus the dispensary. And that's why I keep going back to the good old dispensary.
Have you ever been to Amsterdam, Rich?
Oh, I will be. But
yeah, no. It's only like say it's 45 minutes from here. 45 minutes on a plane, you're there. Right. And the weed is so different to where like you can taste it. You can taste that it's better quality. Do you know what I mean? You can like sometimes I'll get shit here, yeah, and they're telling me it's top whack gear, and it looks it, smells it, everything, but it's not. It looks like they call it Cali over here. They have bud that they call Cali.
That's how I felt. Remember when I told you I was on Tenerife with a lady, and I was in that smoke shop. I was like, damn, this shit hit different than the UK.
Yeah, this shit's supposed to be Cali. What I'm on now? Nah. I want to smoke it anyway. Is what it is. It's if I believe it's Cali, then it's Cali, in it. You know,
go get high now. We definitely go get high.
Straight from California, man.
Shout out to the weed smokers, man. Shout out to the weed. Rambo, I always ask this last question to my guests, man. As you always know, what is your message to humanity during this time, big dog?
Again, I want to take your words, like what we've talked about the whole way through. This is you do really create your own reality, and once you believe you do, you'll see you do, and nobody else can have an input of whether you do or not. You know, once you start seeing the evidence, and it's something that you can't really speak about because you sound crazy to some people to say that you've just created that shit, but you do. And also, I'll add in nothing. I said this last time. The end of your episode last time, nothing is serious. Nothing's that serious. Nothing here is that serious. It's an experience. And it's like, it's all yours. It's your experience.
It's bars. That's bars. Remember, this might be the best one you've done, man.
I do what, Rich, as well. I respect that. I done your episode 100. And boom.
Hey, Rambo probably got about like 10 episodes at this point. It's go.
Yeah. I've lost count, but again, I'll be here again.
Everybody right, bro.
Our
Everybody right.
favorite podcast, Rich. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Spreading that positive energy. It's touched me. I'm sure it's touched other people.
Appreciate that, brother. And thank you guys for listening. I don't know the impact of how much these episodes impact you, but I hope that it is helping your life be as great as possible. As always, you're the best. I love you. Like, share, subscribe, and please share so we can keep growing this amazing platform that we are creating together. Keep being awesome, people.
Take care, people.